Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? Welcome to the corner. Y'all know what time it is. We get together to bring the community from the community back to the community. It's what we do. I'm Tamar Jackson, the mayor of Loop City. Y'all know me. With my co-host, I'll let her introduce herself. Y'all know who she is, man. The lady behind the voice. C. Deb, let them know who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe Wilhelm, part of the task force leadership team. I've been part of it for a little over a year now. I'm involved in pretty much every task force initiative, except I always have my camera off. So this is the one space where I do have my camera on. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're also joined here today with Yvette Wilson. And Yvette, please tell us more about yourself and why you're here, why you're excited to be here today.
Okay, well, I'm, like you said, Yvette Wilson. I'm the Director of Career Services over at UEI College. I'm also a co-lead for the task force, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about UEI and what we're doing with workforce development in our community and how we're helping push those people through and helping them get a career path in less than a year. So that's why I'm here, just to let you know about UEI, because it's new to the community. Nobody really knows it. We're not new to the industry. We've been here since the 80s, but we're new to Washington State.
See, and there you go right there. Like I said before, you ain't gonna come up in here selling that. You don't come to the corner and come up in here selling stuff. You leave that to me. But you know what? Hey, tell us a little bit about you, Yvette. Tell us about you. Tell us why, this is the hard work that you love to do, what brought you into doing this work. Tell us a little bit about Yvette before we get into UEI and what UEI is.
Okay, so I've been in workforce development for 20 years. I used to operate my own trade school, and watching the students come in with short-term programs, having them come in and get career paths in less than a year. I think it's amazing. Being a part of my community is what I've always done. When I lived in Virginia, that's what I did. We were part of the community, giving back, doing the things that we need to do to help them to really make a difference in their lives. I'm also a co-lead or a lead volunteer for the American Red Cross. So I really love to give back to my community in any way that I can. I'm always volunteering and seeing what we could do to really uplift the lives of our community and what we could do in workforce development to really change that, so that they're not, people in the community have a way, they have an opportunity that they probably normally wouldn't have. That's just what I do. That's just a little bit about me. I'm in the community and I love to make a difference. Workforce development is huge. Creating pathways for people that normally wouldn't know where they should go. That's what I'm all about. Making partnerships and figuring out how we could make a difference and an impact in the people of our community. That's a little bit about me. I've been in the business for 20 years. Post-secondary education is where I'm at. I started out in compliance. I would audit campuses to make sure that they were in compliance with state, federal, and accreditation regulations. From there, as campus president, I made sure that we provided the right programs so our students could come in, get the training, and get out. And from there, when I came to Washington, that's when I got involved with the task force. And then I was introduced to Goodwill Industries. And that's when I was teaching career readiness to people that were going through, that were transitioning out of homelessness. So just being able to really teach the people in the community, giving them the skills and helping them really level up and uplift themselves so they know that there is a path for them. So that's just really, workforce development is what I do and who I am and why I'm here.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. It's
See you.
It's so great to hear this, though. I mean, people who have been involved in communities, even not just in Pierce County, in other areas across the country as well. And that's just followed you, it seems. Wherever you've gone, you're like, I'm here. I want to make a difference. How can I help?
Yeah,
it's just wonderful to hear that from people. It's very great and very inspiring. I do want to ask a little bit more about UEI. You said that it's been around for the 80s, but it's new to Washington State. What are some things that you want people to know about it? Just tell us a little bit more about UEI, what you do, and some things that you want to share that people may not necessarily know about.
Well, UEI, like you said, UEI is not new to the business. They've been around since the 80s. There's 30 campuses across the country, and they decided to put one here in Washington. And I was lucky enough to find this this new career as the Director of Career Services. And the reason why I wanted this position is because our sole job, we have a department dedicated to our graduates so that when they're done learning their trade, they come to me and I help them create a pathway to the career that they want. And partnering with all of these employers is just amazing. So a little bit about UEI, our programs, like I said earlier, they're 9 months long. They're trades, HVAC, we offer HVAC, auto tech, medical billing and insurance coding, medical assistant, and dental assistants. And if you look into if you really look even on Indeed, you'll see that the number of job opportunities are just amazing. There's so many employers looking for these programs. So what UEI does is we also enroll students that might not have a high school diploma or GED that still want to get their career going. We enroll them. And so what they do is in parallel with their program, they're also earning their GED or their high school diploma, whichever one they choose, and they're learning their trade. And that's really cool because in an under year, they'll be able to go out into the workforce. Our target population are the underrepresented students and the kids that really don't know what career paths there are and what high in demand fields there are. And the unique part about UEI is that not everybody is going to want to go to a college or a university some people don't have time to spend, a year or 2 years or even 3 years getting an education. They really need to get in, they're ready to start a career. They want to get in, learn something and get out and start working. And that's the unique and that's the beauty of UEI is it's short-term programs. We help all walks of life. A lot of our clients, a lot of our students are students that haven't had the traditional pathways or have had barriers and other things that have prevented them from getting a high school diploma or from ever even going to college. So giving them this opportunity and having them know that we're here to support them is what we do at UEI. And not only do we have a career services department that is solely dedicated to ensuring that our graduates have a career pathway after graduation, we have an amazing student services department that helps our students that have been underrepresented in the community, that have had barriers, overcome these barriers. And they overcome these barriers by offering them gas cards, bus passes, connecting them to other community members that can provide them with the services they need. Some of our students are homeless and are transitioning out of homelessness. So where they're at in their life is they're transitioning out, and then here's UEI that's giving them a short-term opportunity to get in, get out, and start their new career and start their new life. Essentially, that's what happens here at UEI. So that's a little bit about us. It's what we've been doing since the 80s. And I think it's amazing, the different opportunities that we're giving these students. And I have to say, having a career services department that's solely dedicated to ensuring that our students have career pathways and a career when they leave is impactful. So that's what I do. That's why I applied for the position. I mean, because it's workforce development, right? Creating pathways for people that didn't know they had one.
See, I like that. Thinking about what that looks like, definitely we know you're part of the task force. You're part of that team in itself. But before even talking about that, I want to go back. You said you've been here from the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. Take me back to 19-year-old Tamar. I walk in the front door. I'm lost. I don't really know what to do. What does that look like for me? If I get to get with Miss Wilson and introduce myself, Tamar Jackson, I'm 19 years old. I'm confused on what I want to do because I'm really not sure of what I want to do. What does that look like when I actually just come in and I just introduce myself to you? How do you take me to the next level?
So basically what we would do, I would bring you in, I would give you a tour of the campus. I would let you look at all the real world labs. When you come in and you see the medical assistant lab, it looks like you're walking right into a doctor's office. It's amazing. It'll blow your mind away. My dental lab looks just like if you're going to go to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned and whatever else. You go into the auto tech lab. It looks like you're going to go drop your car off to get fixed at one of your auto places. So what I do is I just show you, give you a tour and show you what that looks like. We even will allow you to sit in and audit a class to see, well, what really moves me? What interests me? And what I do is sit down and let you know what these career pathways look like. Where could you work? What are these different opportunities? For example, I have Boeing coming in and, you know, wanting to hire my students. So what I would do is sit down and talk to you to figure out, what is it that you like? Do you see yourself working in a trades, you know, working with HVAC, fixing HVAC, or do you want to serve people and be in the Allied Health Center? So that's what we would do, is just try to figure out what your niche is, where your interest is, and really figuring out what interests you. And then also allowing you to see that there's so much out there. There's so many career opportunities, and I don't want to call them jobs, they're careers that really will elevate them out into a livable wage. So that's kind of what we do. I would bring you in tomorrow. I would let you see, feel, and look at all of the different career pathways here. And I would sit you down and talk to you and show you some of the places that you could work and help you envision, like, wow, do I see myself doing that? And just giving you empowerment to let you know that even if UEI or the programs that we offer isn't what you want, for you to know that there is a pathway for you. There is a pathway no matter what it is that you want. If it's not UEI, then let's find you a place that you do want to go into.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
just
great.
yeah.
That's
Just really
wonderful.
supporting the community. It's amazing to see the people that walk through. I see young people, I see older people. I see people that are in their 40s and 50s looking for a career change. I see people in their 40s looking to figure out what they finally want to do. You know what I mean? After they overcame those barriers and they live life and they realize, wow, what can I do to get in and get out and really start working and making money to support my family? So that's what we do. We just give those options and opportunities.
That's wonderful. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what that process looks like after a student has finished that short-term program. Because at least I saw this a lot, at least with four-year colleges. It's like, okay, I got the piece of paper. Now what? Where exactly do I go from here? So I'd love to hear about what that process looks like. If you have apprenticeships that you work with, in terms of making that connection from that graduation to starting that career opportunity.
So that's a great question. It all depends on what program. If you're in the allied health programs, dental, or one of our 2 medical programs, what we do is 2 months prior to graduation, what I do is I bring you in, we figure out where you're going to become an extern at, because all of our allied health has an externship component out of all of our programs. So what we do is we'll sit you down, figure out where you want to go and extern at. We have different externship opportunities at Multicare, Surgical Associates Northwest. Just there's many different clinics. Once you go out there, you'll start going and being able to perform and use your skills and show those employers, hey, it's like a working interview, right? And so when my externs are about 50% done with their program, what I do is I contact that employer that they've been externing at to find out, hey, would you like to hire my student? And then if they say yes, then I contact the student to say, hey, they want to offer you a job. Now, let's just say that externship site says, I don't have the ability to hire somebody. What I do is I bring my student back, we update their resume, and then we start applying for jobs that they would like to work at, with the sole goal of when they're done with externship, they're ready to go right into their next career field. So they don't skip a beat. There is no waiting to figure out, now what am I going to do? I graduated, now what? There is no now what for my students, because I'm creating them a career path at least 2 months prior to their graduation. Now, for my HVAC students and my auto tech students, it's a little different because there is no externship. What we do is I see them 2 months prior to them graduating. We create them a resume, we update it to include their education, and we sit down. We have employers coming out. I have Boeing, McDonald Miller, I have Union 26, Union 36. I had the shipyards come out that want my graduates. And so basically I show them, hey, these are the different career avenues. Where do you want to apply to? Once my students apply to those jobs, what I do is I pick up the phone, I talk to that connection, my partner, and say, hey, I have a graduate that's excited to come work for you. And they'll interview them with the sole goal of my graduates, my students, having a career pathway prior to graduation. So by the time they're graduated, they already know where they're going. That's my sole goal. So there is no guesswork. There is no, now what? I did all this. What am I supposed to do? We start the process well before they even get done with graduating. So that's what that looks like. And that's the exciting part though, folks. Seriously, I mean, I just love having these employers come in, they walk through, they talk to my graduates, and they're excited about hiring them because they have a workforce need. So I kind of have two clients here. I have my students that I need to serve to get them a career pathway. And I have employers that are excited to hire my students that need to fill their workforce, right? Because there's so many job openings. I have these employers just begging, hey, give me some students, I'm ready to hire them. And what I tell my students when they first start school is the only two things I ask of you. I need you to give me good grades and good attendance. You give me good grades and good attendance, I'll get you that career pathway. That's simple potatoes, easy. So that's what that looks like. So with the whole goal of every student leaving here, knowing where they're going next, there are no unknowns.
See, so UEI and Yvette, y'all ain't selling pipe dreams. Y'all filling pipelines, right?
We're filling pipelines.
Y'all filling up the pipeline. I love that, man. Great question, Chloe, because, that's one of the things that we run across and, we become very concerned of is, everyone's talking about it, but how long are you able to talk about it before you can actually show what it looks like from the background, looking at higher education, whatever that looks like. I got the certificate, but what do I do with it outside of put it as a bookmark and hang it up and take a cool picture with it? So I love hearing that you guys are doing the work, behind the scenes, making sure these young adults have somewhere that they can go, they can land. But I really love that you guys are making those relationships and those introductions early. So they're not going into situations as a stranger. They're actually going in with those that have mentored them in months prior, and they're just starting that field and what that looks like. So I heard you talk about the task force. I heard you, recognize you are part of that leadership and what that looks like. How does being part of the task force, how has that been a benefit to the work in your career field right now? Just that support, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, I have to say the support that I receive is amazing. Like, for example, Sam and I, he's part of Workforce Central. I wouldn't know about Sam if it wasn't for the task force. He's in the business solutions and he's working together with me to help me create a career fair right here at UEI so that we could bring in those employers that Sam already has that is eager to hire. So I have that partnership, the task force with the collaboration for a cause, going out to these different events, being able to meet these service providers that are needed for our students, because we help those students that we reach the demographic that collaboration for a cause is trying to reach. So having that access to these partners to say, hey, this is what my students need. I have the clients that need your support. It's just the camaraderie and the way the task force just brings the community together. It's amazing, because if it wasn't for the task force, Yvette would be cold calling and doing research and trying to figure out what partners or who's out there that could help me with housing, what partners are out there that could help me with transportation. It would make everything so much harder, or it would be it would take a lot longer. So being a part and affiliated with the task force, it's allowed me to create partnerships really quickly and allow me to support our students quickly. That's what I have to say. It's just, and along with not only just UEI, but for me, like as a person, as a human being, being able to be out there and making an impact in people's lives and being able to share the knowledge that I do have when it comes to workforce development, to help to share that information with people in the community that really don't know. And that's the most impactful, powerful part about being on the task force, is being out there in the community and talking to the community. And without the task force and these different events, I wouldn't necessarily have that opportunity, right? Because where am I? I'm not going to just stand outside and wait for people to walk by so I could tell them about the different options. So it's a multitude of things, just the camaraderie, the partnerships, the collaboration, and being able to really be in it and teach people about what we do.
I love it. I love it.
And another thing that I have to say about my department or UEI is our students, not only do they leave with a career pathway. Not only do they leave with a trade and or their high school diploma, if they started without one, is I make sure that they have career readiness. What does career readiness look like? Well, I have career readiness workshops. We provide emotional intelligence because a lot of our students have never been, have really held a real job. So it's important that when they go out for their first job, they have emotional intelligence. They know how to deal with difficult situations. They understand how to control their emotions so that their emotions don't get in the way of what they're doing. But not only that, I make sure that they have a resume. They understand how to create a resume and how to update a resume. I prepare them they understand how to conduct themselves in an interview. And they also know how to job search on their own. So we really give them they leave very well-rounded. We give them all the tools that they need to make them successful when they leave UEI. And the other cool part is, let's just say a graduate leaves, they get a job, they're gone for a year. They could come back after that year and say, hey, Yvette, I need help with a job. All right, come down. Let's update that resume and let's see who I can contact to help you get another job, another career pathway. So that's the uniqueness. The support never ends when you graduate, and even after I place you. It doesn't stop there. We're always here.
That's wonderful. I'm curious as to what some of the financial barriers maybe some students come across. I know that the cost of college and higher education is just completely skyrocketing. I'm curious to see what UEI situation is with that, what financial opportunities students may have, or if someone's watching this and like, wow, this sounds great. I'd love a short-term trade, but I don't know how I would make that happen. What would you say to them?
Well, so UEI, a couple things. One, we do offer Title IV funding, that is student loans, but we know that we don't want people to leave with debt. So we also accept WIOA funding. We have Pell Grants. The state has gave UEI $1 million grant money to offer scholarships to offset the cost of their education. Now, let's just say the student starts school and they're like, wow, this is really great, but I still need to be able to work to take care of my family, right? Because we're talking about young adults. So that's when, again, Career Services steps in. I bring them in and we create them a resume and we start helping them find those jobs that they need to keep them sustained in school. And that's not only do we have partnerships with employers that want our graduates, I have partnerships with employers that just need people to work for them while they're going through school. So that's kind of how we support them with their affordability in coming to school.
So tell me this, situation setting. Here I am, Chloe and myself, I'm a night owl, so, I don't really like to get up in the morning. Chloe's right there first thing in the morning, loves to get up, but, she has to be able to, figure out what school looks like. Do you guys offer those opportunities of, either to be a day walker or a night walker or, whatever that looks like? How are classes set up? Because I do know that not everybody wants to get up in the morning to go to school. Do you guys offer just different ways? Is that like a 24-hour look or, daytime, nighttime, midday? What does it look like for your students? What is the opportunity that they have to get rid of all the excuses on why they can't go to school? What are some solutions that you guys have done and recognized so that you're removing barriers all the way?
Yep. So that's a really great question. We have different shifts. So our students will come to school. Our students are required to attend school 4 days a week. But the cool thing is we have a hybrid model. Two of those days of the week, they're going to be doing their classwork online and they'll be going to class via Zoom when it's for their class time. The other 2 days of the week, they'll come into UEI and they'll practice what they learned in their book, in their classroom, and they'll get to practice hands-on within our real-world labs. Now, depending on what you want, we have day classes where you would come from 8 to 12, and then we have evening classes where you could come from 6 to 10. So it allows that student the opportunity to only have to really physically have to come to class 2 days of those weeks. And then we work with you. If you have a job during the day and you can only come at night, great. And you only have to worry about coming in 2 days of those weeks. or 2 days of the week. So we make it really easy for the student to be able to get here and still have a life and go to work and take care of their families. And then some classes, we also even have a mid-afternoon shift, and that would be from 1 to 6. So we have 3 different many different ways, 3 different opportunities for them to come in. And then the cool part is they only have to physically be here 2 of those days, and that's for 5 hours a day. They come in 10 hours a week and they practice what they learned in their classwork.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, it's great to hear about that kind of flexibility, especially since COVID hit. A lot of things went virtual or hybrid, and it's really cool to see that flexibility kind of continue over time. Is it something that you're planning on keeping, that hybrid model moving forward?
Yeah, we don't have any plans in changing it, because it's being very successful to make the students have to come in just to sit in a classroom when they could just be home and take a Zoom, kind of like us. The instructor is live on Zoom, and it's just like if they're in the classroom, there's just no need to make them have to figure out, how am I going to get to school to just sit in class when I could just learn right here on Zoom. And then it makes it so easy for them, just helping them make sure that they could get here.
I love that, man. Lot of good things coming from UEI. A lot of good things coming. The United Education Institute.
Yes.
UEI, man, you guys are doing a lot of great things. I'm loving, the options. I'm loving the guidance. I'm loving the support, the mentorship. As we get ready to come to an end of what this looks like, what is something that you think that the community needs to know? How does the community support what UEI is doing? What do you need from the community right now?
Well, what I need from the community are just partnerships. If any service providers are looking for clients so that they could support them, or if they want to come into UEI and present to our students about the different supportive services that they offer, I would love that. I would love to partner with any employers out there that are looking to hire our graduates, or even just our students while they're going to school. I love to create partnerships with those employers. That would be amazing. And if any of our community members knows of any people that are looking to transition into a new career pathway in under a year, please send them to us, because I could promise you that I'm going to make sure that they have a career pathway when they get out of school, as long as they want it, that part, right? I want them, if they come in and they get good grades, good attendance, then I'll do my part to make sure they have a career pathway. So that's just kind of what I ask of the community. And I also ask the community, what could I do to also give back to you? What could I do to support your organization? What could I do to support your facility? Whether it be my volunteering, whether it be me going and talking to your people, anything that I could do. I think that if we work together as a unit and collaborate on what people need, and that's what I need. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, I see you. I told you, don't be coming to the corner trying to sell stuff.
No, I'm not.
Leave that to us. We be selling everything. You know, come here and sell something. But man, I love what you're doing. When we get together, like I said, this ain't a presentation, it's a conversation. We love having our friends online with us, just having a good time. And, we've all been together. We know what this looks like. We would talk about the same things in person that we talking about right now. But the thing we're doing with this right now is we're reintroducing our community back to this community that we love so much. Before we always get off, it's our little segment, but I need Chloe's thought of the day. Chloe, you've been in here, you've been through the conversation, your mind's been rattling. What's Chloe's thought of the day today?
Gosh, let's see. I think my thought of the day is that there's no reason to wait to pursue these kinds of opportunities, especially with how many job opportunities are available right now, opportunities for education and training. If this is something that you're interested in, don't hesitate to take that leap. There are so many resources, so many connections that you can make. And I'm sure a lot of opportunities are out there that you may not know about. So do not hesitate to reach out. There is nothing to lose to look into this and see where you want to go.
Absolutely. I love that, because you're right. We got to stop taking our time trying to question what we are capable of doing. These doors are open. UEI is waiting for you. Miss Yvette Wilson is waiting for you to make sure that we push you to the next level. That is what we do in workforce development. That is what we do in partnership. That is what we're doing for this community, making generational sustainability. No more excuses, as Chloe said. Get out there, go make things happen. We're about to wrap this up, but you know what? Like I always say, when you come to the corner, never forget the community that keeps them together. Thank you so much, Miss Yvette Wilson, UEI, for being a part of what we do. Thank you to my road dog, CW, but y'all know where's Chloe, aka the woman behind the mask. We are doing great things in this community. Thank you so much for being here with us. We will continue to grow. We will continue to introduce you guys to amazing partners. But hey, we got to go. We got to get out of here. We got the community to save, man. So from the corner to you guys, thank you, UEI. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Chloe, for always rocking and being here with me, always making these things fun. Until next time, we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.